Hello, welcome back. Time now for Media Watch. I'm joined for that by James Creedon. Hello, James.
Good evening, Louise.
Now then, Twitter in France has agreed to delete anti-Semitic tweets, and it's big news because it's the first time it's actually censored the social media blogging websites.
That's right, in France, and it actually happened. This week is a big week on Twitter, actually, for censorship, Louise. So basically, the last weekend, in particular on Sunday, there were these anti-Semitic tweets trending on Twitter, and they under the hashtag Un bon juif, or a good Jew, and some of the content was absolutely horrendous. It was photos of concentration camps, etc. Very dark humour indeed, and so it got an awful lot of attention in the French media. SOS Racism asked for the tweets to be taken down. They even started legal proceedings, and a Jewish students' union also met with Twitter yesterday. Now, Twitter refused yesterday to take down these tweets. Today, they have bowed to the pressure of the student unions group. No legal proceedings actually concluded. It was just they agreed to take down the tweets. So there you go. And just to give you a sense of that, here you have on the Huffington Post website some screen grabs of those tweets yesterday. Now, one is a photo here. If we click on it, what do you see? Right, the page doesn't exist. So in France, those tweets are no longer available. Now, what's interesting is yesterday, something similar happened in Germany to a neo-Nazi account. You can see here the headline on the New York Times website. Twitter blocks Germans' access to neo-Nazi group. And indeed, as they say in this headline here, this was actually the first use of censorship on Twitter. Now, what's interesting is that this here is the Twitter address. We're not in Germany. We can still see it, right? It's only within the German borders that this act of quote-unquote censorship took place. So if you can see here, this is one of his most recent tweets. Look at this regime. They gossip viciously about China and Russia, but no, not about them. Freedom for Germany. So the person who was censored for neo-Nazi tweets is saying, hold on a minute, what about China and Russia and the criticism they get for censorship? Isn't Germany sort of doing the same now? So you can, if you remember back in January as well, Louise, there was a big storm about Twitter announcing the possibility of censorship within different countries. At the time, people were saying, hold on a minute, wasn't Twitter one of the central tools in the Arab Spring for bringing together protesters? It was seen as a tool of freedom and freedom of expression, and now we're seeing it used, or we're seeing Twitter bow to censorship laws within various countries. But they didn't actually act on that new rule until yesterday in Germany, and now today in France. So indeed, it's a new era in terms of censorship on Twitter.
No, well, if Twitter's censoring for the first time, it's something that Facebook is already very accustomed to.
That's right. Now, they do take down Facebook pages if there's material that is seen as explicit, etc. Now, the latest case of this is the Swiss paper, the Tribune de Genève. They have a Facebook page on which they'll put some articles and material. Now, today, they had an article about the 19th century painter Gustave Courbet and The Origin of the World, which is a famous painting of the female anatomy, right? And basically, they had this article from a very cultured point of view talking about this piece. Facebook blocked the Tribune de Genève's Facebook page. Now you can see here on their website, the Tribune Genève is saying, hold on a minute, are you saying the painter Gustave Courbet is a pornographer? Is this what Facebook thinks? And indeed, from Facebook's point of view, that's exactly what it thinks, and it's generated a lot of discussion online. Should Facebook censor famous art? Now, it has happened before. Even last year, the TV channel Arte, which is a culture channel here in France, somebody linked to a documentary that they had on this topic, and indeed it was taken down. So there you go. It's and breastfeeding has been an issue on Facebook in the past.
I was going to say, they've censored breastfeeding pictures, haven't they? I remember that.
That's right. And a woman had her account suspended for 30 days because of a breastfeeding photo. But do you know what you're allowed to do is have statues of breastfeeding. That's okay. So it's kind of, where do you draw the line?
Editorial censorship on Facebook. It's all encompassing, that website. Yeah. Now, it also censored New Yorker cartoons earlier this year.
That's right. Just one final example on it, Louise. This was I think actually September, and what they did is they had cartoons on the New Yorker Facebook page of Adam and Eve, right? And Eve had her cartoon, nudity going on. Facebook didn't like that and they suspended it. And then they did this whole thing on the New Yorker saying, so these are not offensive and these here are. What is the distinction? In other words, one is Adam, one is Eve. Aren't we all the same, really?
Yeah. Oh, it's become this big philosophical debate now. It's more trouble than it's worth, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Now, on a totally different topic, the Dalai Lama has got in trouble for allegedly swearing.
Right. Now, this was at Brown University in the US. He was saying, forget it. But it came out with his accent as something a little bit different. This is a problem that has dogged the Dalai Lama in the past. The stenographer actually, it was being subtitled and she thought it was the F word. But let's take a listen to a similar incident a couple of years ago at another conference where he was saying forget it, but it did sound like something else.
Okay.
I think we should forget about our feeling, our religious sort of differences, and also you see, forget. And forget forget, you see, the different races. Yeah, hello. What is wrong?
As if the Dalai Lama would ever use such expletives.
He's normally so well behaved.
I know. Thank you very much, James. James
Thanks, Louise.
Creedon there with Media Watch. Time for a break. Do stay tuned though. Coming up, web news.